Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the Lancer Dome here in Belleville, Ontario, as we have the visiting Canadore Panthers coming into town against the Loyalist Lancers. Tough loss for the Lancers yesterday, but we'll see if they can pull it back. My name's Stephen Schill, alongside John Ostrowski. When we're looking record-wise, John, what are we looking at for these two teams?
Yeah, the Canadore College Panthers coming all the way up from North Bay at a 3-4 record. Probably not what they wanted, but every single game's been close. They haven't lost any games in under 5 sets this year. So that's a pretty impressive record. But the Loyalist Lancers wanting to get back on their feet. They're at a 1-6 record, unfortunately last in the Eastern Conference. Luckily, they got that one win in Peterborough last week at Fleming College there, but just couldn't really get their footing against the Seneca Sting yesterday afternoon.
Canadore Panthers center Annika Butler here to kick things off on this Sunday afternoon. And immediately off the rip, they're going to miss the serve. Kevin Lancers, a good start. And we are here in the crowd into it again. This is the final game at home here for the 2025 part of the season. Of course, we're back in 2026, and again, waiting to see when we get to try out this new gymnasium as we see Crawford with the ball right down the middle. It's going to be Butler into their middle in Rogers. Canadore now able to go again. Center's going to choose the behind option in Elise Sherman, but no good. Lancers up 2-zip.
There you go. 2 easy points for the Lancers volleyball team so far as Crawford gets to serve again. 2-0 to start.
Yeah, again, the energy is something we're going to need to keep an eye on throughout this one, as sometimes it can fade. Serves good from Crawford. Going to go to the far side. Back to Crawford. She hits that into the net. Initially placed over by Sherman. We'll see Sherman now back to serve.
Formerly of a Cole Secondaire St. Marie in New Liskeard, Ontario.
It's over. Going to be Baker on that first touch. Rowledge puts it down the middle to Cudmore. Wasn't able to find the connection.
Yeah, Cudmore usually able to slam those over the net, so going to want that one back as it's tied at 2 now.
Sherman again. Ball's over. Baker, Routledge puts it up to the far side. Initial hit's blocked, and the second one goes too far. Cudmore really hoping to find a groove here early after the 2 missed chances.
Yeah, that'll be well out. It'll be the Canadore Panthers taking a 1-point lead now in this first set.
Just off the net, diving from IDs. Routledge, Crawford is needing to dump it over. First touch by Dyer, getting some assistance. It's going to be Rogers. And Lancers put a stop to that mini run from the Panthers.
Going to serve now, number 14, Kaylee Verboom.
Popped up initially, Shuckluck here. McKenzie gets it over. Crawford on a toss. Routledge going for Cudmore again, and there we go. Again, just finding that groove for Cudmore. Happy to see that first point here early.
There you go, getting her first kill of the afternoon, Cudmore. Now it'll be Verboom's turn to serve, once again.
Serves over and going to be out. Wow, super close calls. We saw Elise Sherman running back that entire way, but ultimately going to let it drop. Capturing that point. We'll see Delaney Rogers. Serves over and good. Baker, Routledge. Cudmore goes for a tap. And a last-second dive from Butler. But can't pop it up.
Yeah, no chance there. Too easy for Cudmore there, as it will be a scoreline of 5-4 for the Lancers now.
Popped up Butler running for it. Needing to just get it over is McKenzie. Does so. Crawford on that first touch, but immediately puts it over, so Lancers can't get too good of an offensive run for it. But Cudmore sends it straight back off that hit from McKenzie. And ultimately, they're going to give the point to Canadore. As it was going off the roof. Cassidy Dyer. Baker. Routledge to Crawford. We'll put that into the net. Dyer again. Cudmore. Routledge goes to the option over Bruggen off the block. Point Lancers. Waiting for the surge from Routledge. It's good and over. And Shuckluck. The Butler. Reach from McKenzie. Lancers now. Big miscommunication, but they're still able to play and put it on the side of Canadore. Now it's Canadore's turn to try to create something, a little bit of an awkward set, but McKenzie does get it over. Now it's Baker to Crawford. It goes with her left hand. I don't think Sydney normally swings with her left hand, so I think it was just forced to do that in that segment. The Panthers pick up the point. McKenzie. Baker. Routledge. Cudmore in the back line. A good swing and gets it.
Now a 1-point game. 8-7 for the visiting Canadore Panthers.
IDs. Shuckluck to Butler. Far side swings off Pelche and does drop.
Bit of a miscommunication there for the home side, and Canadore will take advantage now. It's number 5, Emily Pelche's turn to serve.
Going to be sent back to Canadore right away. Butler puts it up to Sherman. And Panthers finding a little momentum here late. Again, Lancers is generally pretty good defensively.
Yeah, she got up there for the kill. 10-7 now for Canadore Panthers.
Again, as John mentioned earlier, this Panthers side not losing any game without going to 5 sets, which is quite impressive. And the block is there for the Panthers, but it is going to drop. Counted for Bruggen.
Yeah, and what we said about the Panthers earlier, they've lost some pretty good teams, pretty difficult schedule so far. They've played Seneca, George Brown, Durham, and Georgia, and those were all the losses they've had, and to take all those teams to 5 sets is pretty impressive.
For Bruggen. Going to be popped up. McKenzie getting help from Shuckluck. Swing from Sherman. Now Lance's turn to do something. It's going to be Cudmore. They're able to keep it alive. Just dumped over from Sherman. A quick pop up from Routledge. Needing help. IDs is there, and Cudmore pops it over. And they're going to say that it's a 4-touch against the Lancers. I don't think that was the case, but what the ref calls goes. To me, that only looked like 3, but unfortunately, I don't have the replay in front of me. It was a tough go for the Lancers. Innica Butler. Heavy serve. Too wide.
Lancers will get that point right back.
Crawford. Misses.
12-9 now as it's Sherman's turn to serve. Oh, short arm that one.
Yeah, back-to-back mixed serve for both squads. Boom on the serve. We're going to have 3 serves missed, back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, I don't want to contribute to that streak any longer than you have to.
Rogers. Baker. Down the middle. Routledge sets it for IDs. Does it get a tip? No, it doesn't. Point Panthers.
That was well out, definitely. Just hoping that you'd get a hand on it, or the Panthers will get a hand on it if you're on the Loyalist side, but not going to go that way as number 11, Rogers, serves again. Oh, it's
short.
the head of her teammate.
Yeah, Pelche. Cudmore, serve over. It takes an initial deflection, but Shuckluck's there. Dumped over by Butler. On the side of Lancers, Crawford gets a chance. And an awkward handle from Elise Sherman.
Yeah, easy point for the Lancers there.
Cudmore. Shuckluck sets it up to McKenzie. Baker diving out for Routledge. Takes it to Cudmore. Job let that go. Fight at the bottom of the net. Actually, it's just going to go straight over to the side of the Lancers. And now Cudmore from the back line trying to curve it. Not getting the arc. And Cudmore arguing that there was a tip. Dyer. Another missed serve. Rough first set for both squads.
Still a 2-point game. Lancers staying in it from just the not great serves from the Panthers side.
Routledge. It'll be to Butler. McKenzie gets the kill.
Yeah, she got up there. It'll be a 3-point lead once again.
Cudmore. Routledge. Starting to go with IDs. The block is there, but a nice little arc on that spin down and off the block and good.
Yeah, great point there for the Lancers.
IDs. Shuckluck to Butler, going straight behind her. And Pelche secures it. Spin and serve, and IDs, a victim of the roof in the Lancer Dome.
Yeah, it'll be low roof here in the Lancer Dome, and it'll be a timeout for the Loyalist Lancers.
Off that timeout. Pelche with the serve. Verboom. Kind of Verbruggen. Really popped up. Butler goes to Sherman, and there's a collision on the side of the Lancers between Baker and IDs, and it's going to drop.
Yeah, they're at least able to kind of stop before they hurt each other. They're able to kind of slow down and popped right back up, so no injury there. But unfortunately will lead to another Canadore point now, 19-14, as the Canadore Panthers are rolling here. Oh, there you go. Loyalist getting that one back.
Verbruggen. First touch from McKenzie. Butler sets that up. Immediately shot back on the side of the Lancers, but Rogers with an absolute laser initially. Pick that one off Routledge. So Annika Butler, and we keep saying, is the setter for Canadore. 5 points away from taking the first set. Baker sends it straight back. Shuckluck to Butler. Goes straight down the middle. Swing from Rogers. Now Loyalist goes to Cudmore. Gets it.
It was beautiful there. Beautiful ball placement from the kill from Cudmore. I believe that's her third of the match already.
We'll see Reese Summerfield come in for Annika Butler. Late substitution. Again for the setter. Crawford swings on it. Shuckluck. Going to be set and just off that block. German. As I think the Lancers committed a net violation. So Coach Al is champion, changing things up late here on the setter front and getting that first point. IDs can't handle, counted as an ace.
.3 points away from taking a one-set lead.
Verboom, Routledge to Crawford. Doesn't get too heavy of a swing, but Shuckluck on that diving effort. It's going to be set to the close side in McKenzie, but Lancers get the point off of a 4-touch call from the referee against Canadore.
Now you're hoping if you're Loyalist to go on a quick run here and erase a bit of the deficit down by 5 late in this first set.
Boom, Shuckluck. They set up Bryce Summerfield. Swing from McKenzie. Great dig on the side of the Lancers. Crawford swings on to Shuckluck's there to answer. On the far side, having to be a pivot is Dyer, but they do get it. Cudmore now trying to set up IDs. IDs just taps it over. And there's a net violation. It was Rogers goes into the net.
Yeah, don't want that if you're Canadore. A bit of an unforced error there.
And Loyalist having a much better first set than the one yesterday. I believe they dropped to 25-14. Summerfield looking to set that. Cudmore swings on it. What a dig in the back from Sherman, though. And Shuckluck, another dive. Set up Dyer, swings off that block, but they're going to credit Lancers with the point, saying there was another 4-touch on the side of the Panthers. And me, oh my, they're looking interesting.
And there you go. Timeout for the visitors. We'll be back in a minute.
Coming off that timeout, we'll see Verboom here again. Super close first set. Loyal's not wanting to drop this. We'll see what Verboom can do. All they need to do is get it over the net. And
not what you wanted there. And it's been a problem even yesterday. Seneca had a bit of an issue with their serves. So it's been kind of a theme of the weekend, even for the men's game. So it's been a little interesting that it's been a trend there.
IG's just fist bumps it over. Summerfield sets up the close side to McKenzie. Verboom pops it up for Routledge to Cudmore. Cudmore gets some height on it. Just needed a slight more spin to hit that down. Goes out of play.
And a timeout for Loyalist.
Final potential point here in the first set for the Panthers that they can make it happen. Delaney Rogers can get over the net and let's see what Loyalist can do. IDs. Rowledge to Cudmore on a double block. It pops up and Loyalist lives for another point.
Yeah, they'll survive that one. Nice play by Cudmore there, getting it over the net. No chance for the blockers to ricochet that one. So now Cudmore will serve.
Cudmore.
And that'll be the first set. Goes to the visiting Canadore Panthers.
Welcome back to second set action between the Canadore Panthers and the hometown Loyalist Lancers. My name is Stephen Schill alongside John Ostrowski. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Already seen a change on the side of Loyalist. Here earlier, going to see Caitlin Byrne, standing at 5'9", joining this lineup. And to serve. It's on the far side, unfortunately. This is the opening serve.
And now serving for the visiting Canadore Panthers, Sherman once again. I believe it's already her third time serving.
Ball's over for Boom on a first touch. Routledge looks to set it up to Cudmore. Wow, what a block. Originally grabbed from IDs, but just that rebound taking too much height in the rafters play a role.
Yeah, not a chance there. Way too high for the relatively low roof of the Lanserdome.
Canadore starts up 2-zip in the second set. Sherman, IDs, Routledge. Going to set it up. It's going to be Cudmore. Goes into that block. And third point in a row for Canadore. Sherman, it's over. ID's great first touch. Routledge looks to set up Cudmore. Gets past the block and gets the kill.
There you go. First point for the Lancers in this second set.
Crawford on that serve. Going to go straight down the middle. Cudmore is there for the block on the side of the Lancers. Canadore now just needing to get it over. There's another block from the Lancers. Wow, what a diving effort from Baker. Verboom goes past the block. There we go. Nice little rally for the Lancers, trying to turn things around after a shaky start.
Yeah, great play by the first-year player out of St. Teresa Catholic, local player Kaylee Verboom.
Crawford over the net, going to be set in Summerfield to Dyer. Goes off the block, and Verboom back-to-back plays here. Having some big impact, and again, Verboom, I don't think has cracked the starting lineup for the Lancers, at least here at home, and today being, I think, one of the first ones, excuse me if I'm wrong on that, but showing some good prowess here in the second. Crawford on the serve that goes just over and counted as an ace. Wow!
Yeah, he'll take it. Nice little roll off the net there for Crawford, and Canadore player just slightly out of position, so Lancers will take their first lead of this second set as Crawford will get to serve again here.
Goes to the far side. Shakaluk on that first touch. Summerfield sets it up. Lancers do get a block against Rogers. Shakaluk on that far side. Lancers get another block, but ultimately going to fall just a little bit short. I'll see Delaney Rogers. Verboom with a kind of a spin to hit that one, and it just falls too close to the referee to be able to be played.
Yeah, 5-4 lead now for the visiting Canadore Panthers as number 11 Rogers gets to serve out of Edam, Saskatchewan.
Verboom pops it up. Routledge, going to be Crawford. This needs to get it over, hits the net. First touch from Rogers again, not going to be set. It's going to be McKenzie who puts it away.
Rogers getting to serve again. And not even close there.
Alongside Jada IDs. Kaylee Verboom with the serve. Two rookies on this Loyalist court right now. As a big swing comes through from Cassidy Dyer.
Yeah, not a chance there, unfortunately, for the home side.
Dyer serves over. Baker takes that first touch. Routledge goes behind to Cudmore. Cudmore off the block. Little bounce up from Dyer, but ultimately it's still going to drop. Loyals keeps this another tight contest similar to the first.
Yeah, keeping it within one this time as Byrne comes back in the game.
Serves over, a little bit of a funky spin from Sherman, but they're still able to play it. And wow, what a kill from Kate McKenzie, my goodness.
Yeah, got up there. McKenzie able to score the point, and not a chance for the Lancers.
IDs, Rutledge with the burn off the beginning, and there we go, off that block and down.
Yeah, Lancers will get the point right away. We'll get the point back right away and keep it within 1 in the second set here.
Rutledge, the sole fifth-year player, unfortunately not able to connect on the serve. But checking on the side of the Panthers, they also have a fifth-year player in Julia Reynolds. Serves from Peltier. Back-to-back missed serves.
And Loyalists hanging around in this one. I don't think Canadore's got a lead more than 2 points in this second set.
Hotties. Oh, so they're going to get set on that close side. Is Sherman. Verboom able to dig it. And then another set going to Sherman.
There's nobody there in the middle of the court. An easy point for Sherman.
Yeah, Reese Summerfield wearing the number 12 jersey coming in as the setter in the second set, which we also saw actually a switch later in that first for Annika Butler. Working all right on the side of Canadore as Rutledge tries to play it. Byrne does get it over, and Canadore just sends it back, but way out of bounds.
Easy decision for Baker to not go for it, as they will just watch it fall out of bounds.
Caitlin Byrne on the first serve didn't connect, hoping to fix that here. Does so. Shuckluck. They get dumped over by Rogers. Byrne. Rutledge. Back to Crawford. Sees that block. They do get it, but Crawford just sends it back the other way. Then close side point comes through from Sherman. And the referee made a motion. It looked like he was going to call something there against Crawford, but then decides against it. In the midst of that play.
Sherman gets set to serve once again.
IDs. Rutledge. Popped up from Cudmore, and there we go.
Easy kill for Cudmore. Good decision there. And will remain a extremely close second set. 11-10 now for the Canadore Panthers.
Crawford gets it over. Summerfield to the far side. Baker tries to play it, but counted for Kate McKenzie.
Loyalists unable to go on a run here. It'll stay within 2 points. Seems like both teams are having a tough time getting consecutive points here.
Yeah, very, very true. It's now Rogers. Baker. Rutledge sets up Cudmore. Cudmore takes her time with it, and boom! There we go.
Once again, back and forth. The last 8 or 9 points have been back and forth like that for both sides, I believe.
Boom. Good first touch from McKenzie. Going to be set up to Dyer. A block is there from Cudmore and IDs. Well, having to just get it over, they do. Crawford plays it. Rutledge to Cudmore. Gets some height. Popped up from Summerfield, but I don't know if it was a net violation. Well, the referee gave Loyalist the point.
Yeah, the Lancers will get the call there, and it'll be all tied up.
Verboom. Kennedy to Somerville, and there's Cudmore with the block.
Loyalists with their first lead since it was like 4-3 or something like that. So happy to be back in the lead now if you're the home side.
Verboom on the serve. There's a touch from McKenzie. Somerville sets that up. Dyer just taps it over. Baker aware of that, and Rowledge able to keep it alive. Crawford just dumps it. Gonna be set from Summerfield. I'll fight at the bottom of the net. Cudmore's there with Rowledge. Rowledge now setting up IDs. Knows that block's there off the block. Cudmore goes up to block it and gets that point. As Canadore gets called for 2 touches.
Great work by the Lancers to stay with it, and we'll have a timeout for the away side.
Slowly coming off the timeout here. Going to be Kaylee Verboom on the serve. Lancers ahead by 2. Needing to keep this momentum. The serve's over and going to give the point back to Canadore.
That serve will go far right.
Dyer. Verboom pops it up. Rowledge back to Cudmore. It's the arc on it, but not enough. Dyer, Baker, Rowledge. On the side to IDs, gets it past and over the block with some power.
Yeah, no chance there for number 20, Shuckaluk, and it will be Loyalist serve. Now Cudmore's arguably the strongest offensive player on the Lancer side. It's her turn to serve.
Ball's over. The far side swung over by McKenzie. Lance's turn to answer. IDs shifts it a little bit. Doesn't go too heavy, just for a tap over. And in the back line, Sherman gets it.
Easy point for the Panthers there.
Kate McKenzie, one of just a handful of rookies for this Canadore side. On the serve. Far side to Cudmore. Rowledge sets it up to Byrne. Just gets it over just by a hair on that block. Think it tipped off and went straight behind. Nobody was there. Point Loyalist.
Lancer regains the lead in this second set now, 16-15 for the Lancers.
Rowledge, Shuckaluk. Summerfield. And Sherman. Going to give the point to Canadore. Pelche. Baker diving out for Rowledge. Goes up to Byrne. Byrne. Just a quick little tap, but not finding the right placement. And we'll see a timeout on the side of Loyalist. Coming off that timeout, Emily Pelche. The spinning serve comes through. ID sends it straight back to the side of Canadore. Canadore getting a chance to play it, and Sherman not going to miss.
Yeah, just a step ahead there, unfortunately, as Canadore scores once again now up by 2. This has been quite a hotly contested set. No team taking a lead greater than 2 points this entire second set.
And going into this game, Canadore at 3-4 and Loyalist at 1-6. Routledge sets up IDs and bang, gets it.
There it is once again. No team able to make a consistent run with scoring 6, 7, 8 points in a row.
IDs. He popped up to Sherman again. Lancers have the block there, but they're not able to arc it enough, so it bounces out.
Yeah, unfortunate break for the home side.
So Reese Sommerfeld. Again, wasn't in the starting lineup, but did come in late in the first set and been the sole setter here in the second as IDs takes that first touch. Routledge up to Crawford. Crawford sees that block there, but puts it straight off of it. And the exact same answer that Canadore just gave Loyalist, Loyalist gave to Canadore.
Yeah, it was well wide there.
Burn. Shuckalock right down the middle of Sommerfeld. A little tap of the fingers from Rogers, but not enough strength trying to reach.
All tied up now.
Burn, it's over. Great diving effort from Shuckalock, and there is Dyer. Boom gets that first touch. IDs just gets it over. Was tipped from the side of Canadore. Sommerfeld close side at Sherman. Finds that open floor. IDs dives, but again, just wide open kind of circle.
Yeah, unfortunate for IDs there. I thought she got there in time, but not able to make the play.
Sherman for Boom. Routledge. Crawford way behind. Wow, what a swing. Again, yesterday we noted that Crawford felt like kind of finding a rhythm on that.
Yeah, great play by Crawford there. Now all tied up once again at 20.
Crawford gets it over. Shuckalock over to Dyer. Verboom is there, but unfortunately it was off her and out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought she got it there, but unable to keep it in bounds is Verboom.
Rogers. Verboom plays it, but counted as an ace. Goes straight up right by the referee.
And Rogers will get the serve again, but not before a timeout for the Lancers.
Chichiek Pelabay coming in for Sydney Crawford. Late change for Loyalist. Delaney Rogers. IDs. Baker calls for it. Verboom runs up for it. Goes off the block, but Lancer is able to try again. Pellebay needs to get it over, does so. Sherman on that first touch. Sommerfeld to the far side. A big swing from McKenzie. IDs tries playing it from that back line, but going to go out.
Yeah, that'll be way out. Just hits the wall closer to the benches. Unfortunately for Ekpelibe, that was in her direction, but a little bit awry. Not a good enough chance there, and Canadore will capitalize their first 3-point lead, actually, of this second set.
Verboom, Lance just need to dump it over. They do so. There's Sherman and Sommerfeld. Puts up McKenzie, and Baker again tries playing, and we're seeing kind of back-to-back plays where Canadore is just able to attack that far back line for Loyalist with just some might, and the ricochets are just not in a good spot as Loyalist 1 point away from dropping the second set, needing to come up with a stop. Serves over. IDs. Rowledge to Cudmore. There it is.
Cutmore keeping her side alive. Big kill there. Fourth of the game. Fourth of the game, rather. And now getting ready to serve is Verboom, who's had one heck of an afternoon. It will still be match point for the visiting Panthers.
Ball's over. Sherman on that first touch. Sommerfeld having to play it. A little bit of a nifty tap from Pelche. Now IDs. Finds the open court.
Bit of a miscommunication for the visiting Panthers there. Wow.
And ID's just finding that vision right there and seeing that open floor. Wasn't too much of it, but squeezed it right between the two players. And Loyalist has to play perfectly. Sherman. Close to the net. Summerfield puts that up. They just tap it over, and it's going to drop. Oh, no. And Canadore goes up 2-0 as they take the second set, 25-22. We'll be back with third set action momentarily. Welcome back to third set action. My name's Steven Schill alongside John Ostrowski. Coming in this one, the Canadore Panthers at 3-4 and Loyalist at 1-6. Loyalist dropping the first set 20-25 and then the second one 22-25. Looking to stave off the sweep here. And again, going into this one, what we've brought up before is Canadore. Again, their only losses went to 5 sets. So quite a strong team for the Panthers. They're on the road today to kick things off again at Summerfield. Felda. And they get an ace.
Not how you want to start if you're on the home side.
Summerfeld. Baker. Down to Relich to Cudmore. A big block on the side of Canadore. Loyalist scrambling to get it over. Baker needs to do that. They get it. Summerfeld goes behind to Dyer. And with that scrambleness from Loyalist on that one, just a couple spots of open court and Dyer finding it.
Yeah, number one, Dyer able to get up there. Haven't seen her do too much today, but making a statement on that one. So we'll likely be in it more in the third set.
Baker on that first touch. Relich plays it. Lancers do get it over. Summerfeld goes straight down the middle to Rogers. Lancers now playing it. Crawford knows that block is there. Goes for a little tap over. And it drops.
Loyalist scoring their first point of set number 3.
Crawford. We popped up. Shuckleluck to Dyer. Tries to just tap it over. Not wanting to put too much strength on it, but just falls a little bit short because he didn't really get a swing, just kind of tapped it. But wanted to put extra effort. I think it was just a little bit off in terms of that set. Crawford misses.
And Canadore will get that point right back.
Sherman, IDs. Rutledge puts up to the far side. Verboom. That's quite a swing on it. And they're going to say that Canadore touched the net on the far side. Calling Dyer against it. Dyer looking a little unsure about that call. But we are going to see a substitution as that whistle almost popped my ear from way over here. Holy smokes. It's going to be Peyton Wright checking in.
Verboom gets ready to serve, tied at 3. And will not make it over the net.
Rogers, IDs. Relich puts it up to Verboom in the back. And wow, just gets that back corner. Feels like the third set is moving pretty fast here. As Cudmore is set. And Sherman can't do it, so count Cudmore for an ace.
Yeah, there you go. Lancers taking their first lead of set number 3.
Cudmore gets it over. Sherman's able to play it this time. Summerfeld sets that up. Gets some height on it. Is McKenzie, and she doesn't miss.
Yeah, big play there for McKenzie. Able to get her first kill of the afternoon.
Who we checked in, Peyton Wright. One of the rookies for this Canadore squad. With the serve. Baker. Rowledge goes to Byrne. Byrne finds the opening.
Gets her first kill of the afternoon as well. Caitlin Byrne.
Yeah, I think Sherman could have potentially dived for that, but just maybe thought it was out of range. Loyalist setter and Routledge. Serve over Sherman on that first touch. Summerfeld. It was a setup, and initially McKenzie looked to approach it, but first kind of bad set from Summerfeld, as you can tell with her facial expression, realized that she didn't place that where she wanted to.
And now 2-point lead for the Lancers.
Village on the serve, Sherman. Sommerfeld. Another kind of wonky set, but able to get over is McKenzie. Rowledge back to Crawford, knows that block is there. Sherman plays it. Sommerfeld having to step back just a little bit is McKenzie. And I think there was a net violation on the side of Canadore. And again, just seeing a little bit of a struggle from Canadore's setter the past few points.
Yeah, seeing some new faces here for Canadore. McKenzie, Wright, some of their first-year players getting in the game, so Loyalist able to kind of fight back a little bit there.
Serves over. Sommerfeld, a good set that time. Pelche is able to capitalize.
There you go. Canadore able to get a point back now, only down 2. And Loyalist catches a break.
IDs, Shuckluck. Sommerfeld puts that up to Sherman. Lancers, mighty block, and they're able to recover that. Crawford's there, tries to shove it over. Sommerfeld, another one to Sherman, goes off the tip and down to the open floor.
And there you go. Canadore keeping it within 2.
Pelche going for a spin and serve. Gives Loyalist a freebie.
And now Byrne will be getting a serve for the 3rd time this afternoon.
Ball's over. Sommerfeld goes for a setter dump. IDs is there to play a Byrne, trying to set that to Crawford. The block on Canadore is there, but Loyal still able to play again. Another go around. And for Boom, Pleasant Summerfield, the close side, and Sherman. Rutledge. Byrne having to turn into a setter. Crawford. It's an opening, popped up. Close side, Sherman again. Canadore going to Sherman every single play. As Crawford, it's another effort. Shuckluck pops it up. Sommerfeld in the back. It's just send it straight back. Sommerfeld going down the middle. Fedmore tries getting a block on it, but it's going to be Rogers with the point. First kind of rally, really, of the whole series.
Yeah, and that's definitely unfortunate that one of the teams had to forfeit a point there, but it will be going the way of the visiting Canadore Panthers.
IDs. Rutledge to Crawford. Off that block, getting some strength.
Once again, the Canadore Panthers keeping a 3-point cushion here.
Shuckluck, Sommerfeld down the middle, counted as a kill for Delaney Rogers.
There you go. The Panthers able to get a point back.
So it's over. IDs almost sent it straight back. Rutledge is there. Lanches do get it over. Sommerfeld goes running to it. McKenzie just misses.
Out by a couple inches there, and Loyals will pick up the point.
So we'll see Verboom checked out for Chichi Pelabe on the service front. Serves over and good. Shuckluck having a run for it. Sommerfeld sets up McKenzie, and Crawford tries to dive and get in the palm on it, but can't.
Almost had it there, but even if she did get it, it would have been tough for her to maneuver the ball in a way that was playable for a teammate. So will be a nice point there for the visiting Panthers as they will try to cut in this lead and win in straight sets.
Rogers gets a serve over Baker to Rowledge, goes for the center dump and is successful. Good little option. Haven't seen too many of them today from either team, but when they've happened, generally it's worked. Cudmore. Just off the top of the net, gets the ace.
Beautiful, nice serve by Cudmore.
We'll see a timeout on the floor from Coach Alice Champion. Blanche is making a substitution. Jasmine Lassard coming in for Sydney Crawford. Well, I thought it's had a pretty solid game. Lassard getting some playing time as Cudmore off the timeout, misses the serve. And first-year player Peyton Wright on the serve. Cudmore going to be a fight at the bottom of the net. Or not even, just goes over to the side of the Panthers, and Kate McKenzie, one of the other rookies for the Panthers, puts it away.
And now Canadore here able to bring it in within two. First time they've been within two this for what it seems like a while.
Baker, Rowledge, puts up to the far side and barely touches that back line. His ID's on the swing.
That'll stay in.
See Lassard come out for Crawford. Rowledge. Sherman. Sommerfeld goes running for it. McKenzie off the block there. Rowledge plays it. IDs is there. Cudmore keeps it alive. Oh my goodness. And then Sommerfeld goes for just a dump instead. Now Byrne sets up IDs and off the block. Wow, what a play from the Loyalist Lancers.
Lancers been the much better team this set for sure. Wow.
Yeah, no, we're actually seeing a couple rallies. Feels like it's almost just a serve and a point. Almost every play, but here in the third, finding some rallies from both squads. And Loyalist potentially coming into their own. Rowledge. Sherman sets up Sommerfeld. Goes close side McKenzie having a turn for it, but going to get 4 touches, so point Loyalist. We'll see Coach Champion make that substitution again. Canadore been running with their backup setter, now going to the starter, and Annika Butler wearing number 14 jersey. See what sort of changes this brings. Sherman, Butler, can't play that second touch.
Wow, Loyalist almost running away with it. It's only 6 points, but it feels like they're just about to pull away as Rowledge gets ready to serve once again.
Popped up from McKenzie. Butler having to play that. McKenzie gets it over. A rough start for Canadore, but they're able to get it. Now Loyalist's turn. Cudmore. There it is.
19-12 now, and Loyalist showing some fight here. Down 2 sets, just on the cusp of winning this one, 6 points away.
Rutledge on the serve, popped up from Mackenzie. Butler having a run for it. There's a little bit of an awkward set. And there was a net violation, I believe. Yeah, a little bit of a late call, but Mackenzie there. And again, Canadore just looking completely out of place here. We're going to see if we're going to have any timeout call from the side of the Panthers. Again, going with their backup setter and looking all right in this third set, but things are absolutely falling apart from the team from Canadore.
Yeah, the wheels definitely fell off for the Panthers here, and definitely showing a lot of fight. The Lancers, probably the best set they've played at home all season.
Rutledge on the serve. Shuckluck, another little awkward first touch, but they're able to play it. Kenzie just gets it over. Rutledge looking to set Crawford, and they get the point.
9-point lead now for the Loyalist Lancers. Wow.
And I am just floored that we have not seen any sort of timeout on the side of the Panthers. Again, just a crazy, crazy run from Loyalist. We will, however, see a substitution. Akira Farback. Butler sets Farback, and there you go. Substitution puts a stop to the run from Loyalist.
Yeah, able to get one back, but definitely a long way to go if you want to win in straight sets on the visiting side as Farback gets set to serve.
Serves over. IDs. Rutledge puts it down the middle to Byrne. The block is there. Oh my goodness, Baker with what save. And Butler sets up behind her and Pelche, but again, Baker saves it again. And some craziness happening, and ultimately Loyalist is going to end up getting the point with the lift called against the Panthers. Wow.
Yeah, wow, great effort by Baker there. Almost solely scored the point herself, 2 diving plays.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday a little bit too, that just Baker fell again in that libero position, just having a crazy game, even though it was a sweep against the top-rated Seneca Sting. But Baker, again, showing some crazy talent in this game against the Panthers as IDs gets the serve over. Shakalak Butler. Goes to Sherman. Sherman getting some height, realizing I need to make something happen. Again, Sherman being the number 1 option for the Panthers throughout the series.
Yeah, and there you go. Now number 6 getting set to serve. Sorry, that is number 5, Pelche. Oh, she's coming out actually for Peyton Smith, third-year player out of Lethbridge, Alberta. Haven't seen too much of her today.
Yeah, just in the service specialist role, I believe. And does just that. Verboom on a first touch. Rutledge goes down the middle to Byrne, and Byrne doesn't get a good swing on it.
There you go. Now 15-22 in favor of the home Lancers. Got to be careful here because the Panthers have shown they can go on a bit of a run. Haven't seen one since the first set, but we'll see what they can do here as Smith gets set to serve once again.
Serves heavy and out.
Lancers 2 points away from taking a set as Cudmore comes back in.
Byrne. Well, back-to-back missed serves from either squad.
Lancers having a bit of a cushion still as Wright comes back in.
It looked like the Panthers were going to make a substitution here. I think they wanted to switch out the serve of Summerfield, but doesn't matter. It's over, and Crawford there. Wow, what an absolute beam from Sidney Crawford.
Wow, and yeah, that's quite the strength from Crawford, able to get there and just nailed Smith in the shoulder, it looked like, as it's match point, or sorry, set point here.
And there it is. And the roof plays a role. Lancers not going away quietly. Taking this third set, 25-16. We'll be back with fourth set action momentarily. Welcome back in as we approach the fourth set. The Canadore Panthers are here against Loyalist Lancers. Panthers 3-4 coming into this game. Loyalist at 1-6. First set was 20-25 in favor of the Panthers. Took the second set 22-25, and then Loyalist finally coming back 25-16 to make it 2-1. Again, do or die here for Loyalist. But as we brought up earlier in the broadcast, Canadore, the only time that they've lost the season, going to 5 games, and we're seeing that potentially right here. If you're the hometown Lancers, cheering for that. But again, all the families and friends of the Panthers players, thanks so much for tuning in to the broadcast. So we see Byrne on the serve. Will be popped up by Farback. On the other side, Sherman's there. Sherman needing some help. Sommerfeld back to Sherman. Sherman puts it to the back line. It's the IDs. And Cudmore swings on it. Pop back by Dyer. Crawford sends it straight back to IDs, and IDs can't play it. Point Loyalist.
Yeah, big point for Loyalist. Of course, they had the most convincing win as they only conceded 16 points in that third set. So we'll see what they can do. Keep the momentum going and possibly force us to a fifth and final set.
Popped up from far back. Going to fight at the bottom of the net there. We'll see what the referee calls. Says point Loyalist. Again, there was two touches there. Cudmore, and apologies, I didn't see who the Panthers player was, but I guess they're calling it last off the Panthers player. Byrne. Far back to Sherman. Verboom puts it nicely up to Routledge. IDs from the back line. There's Farback able to handle it. And down the middle, just finds the net, is Delaney Rogers. Point Loyalist.
Quick 3-0 lead for the Lancers to start. Wow.
Can find a momentum here late in the third and continuing here in the fourth. Byrne. And just goes for an ace. Farback looked at that, and it just dropped right in front of where she was looking.
Yeah, Canadore having some issues here.
Byrne. Farback. Plays it this time. Sommerfeld comes to help. It's going to go to Sherman. Sherman sees that block, just goes off that net, but they get called on double touch as nobody on the side of Loyalist touched that.
Wow, 5 straight for the Lady Lancers, and quite the start in this fourth set.
And the Farback's going to be taken out for Kate McKenzie, who we've seen throughout this entire series wearing the number 15 jersey for the Panthers. As Byrne again having a crazy service run here. First touch by McKenzie. Summerfield puts that up, and they just put that out of bounds. My, oh my, what is going on with the Panthers?
6 straight for the Loyalist Lancers. They are completely in control right now. And would they not love a quick fourth set?
Byrne gets it over. Play quickly. Sherman's there, the block, but Routledge isn't close enough to be able to get in position for it. Does try to dive.
Yeah, that will be the first point. Quite the run for the Lancers.
Sommerfeld. Baker. Routledge. Crawford. Off the block, and Baker saw that coming back in, tries diving, looks at Crawford saying, it's all right, it's all right. Again, a little bit of confidence, like to see that coming from the veteran in this whole Loyalist squad.
4-point set.
IDs plays it. Baker was behind her, and maybe should have given that to Baker, as IDs just had to kind of turn her body and takes a weird hop that nobody's able to play. Sommerfeld aces it. Wow. This goes right behind Verboom. Super close initially, but was in by quite a margin.
2 quick runs already, 10 straight points, and have all been consecutive. 6 points for the Lancers, 4 points for the Panthers.
Both teams finding runs here back as IDs just sends that straight back to the side of Loyalist. Those first touches, IDs having some really nice first touches, but some other ones that are just falling a little bit short. For Sommerfeld continuing this run, as you just said, Loyalist started with 6 points in a row, and Canadore just followed one short with 5 in a row, but on the missed serve, puts an end to the run.
And now Crawford will get the serve, having one of the strongest performances out of any player on both sides of the court.
Popped up by Mackenzie. Sommerfeld. We're going to go to Sherman. Sherman getting some crazy height. What a dig from Baker. Rowledge sets up Cudmore. Cudmore finds a back corner. Referee originally points out, and then he points back in because that was clearly in.
Yeah, that was well in, and Cudmore able to slam it home. Wow.
Crawford gets a serve over. Shucklock off the net there. Sommerfeld perfectly plays it. Dyer gets some height on it. Baker, Rowledge going to Cudmore. Cudmore not able to get too much strength on it, but Sommerfeld on the first touch. Shucklock to Sherman. Goes for a tap. Rowledge is there to play it. Cudmore sets it up for anybody. Verboom takes it. Decides just to bump it over. Mackenzie on that first touch. Sommerfeld, the far side. Dyer's there. Lancers do get a touch on it. IDs goes to dive for it. Ultimately, Panthers get the point.
Yeah, good job by Dyer there, and quite a run. I thought it was over when it first hit the net. It would have been Lancer point, but luckily for the visiting side, they're able to keep it alive, and now it's time for Sherman, the veteran player, third-year player, her serve.
Verboom plays it. Rowledge to Crawford. Off that block. We put up, but just a little bit too far for Delaney Rogers to be able to play. Tries to swing her left hand at it, but just out of reach.
Regaining the 3-point lead, the home side.
Verboom. So we have to Sherman and just puts that into the net. Freebie for Loyalist.
Wow, up to a 4-point lead now, and another run is starting, it seems. If you're Canadore, you want to get a point ASAP and not have this happen and be a theme in this fourth set.
Verboom gets a serve over. Wow, Shuckluck with a crazy dive. Sherman just putting it over. Cudmore looking to get set from Rowledge. Rowledge goes for IDs, and IDs can't get a good swing.
Short-armed it a little bit there and probably should have had the point if you're Loyalist. But Canadore will get the short arm from IDs. A little bit of a lucky point, but they will take it as Rogers, her turn to serve, and makes it over clean.
Going to be IDs here. And IDs just struggling a little bit on that attacking side. We'll see if Rowledge keeps going for her or trying to set up Cudmore on the opposite side.
Yeah, you don't see her make that mistake very often, so we'll see what changes offensively for the Lancers.
Rowledge goes to Cudmore this time. Cudmore leaves it over. Sommerfeld. Cudmore's there having to put it back, and there it is.
Cudmore using her reach, able to get up there and block it. Taller than most players on the court on either side as Byrne comes back into the match. And a lot of versatility being shown by the Lancers and a lot of overcoming adversity against these Panthers who were up in the driver's seat, and they score another point, the Lancers.
Yeah, Burton's there for the block against Mackenzie. They got that first touch. I set Sommerfeld and got it right back. Again, crazy start to this fourth set. Loyalist goes on a 6-point run, immediately answered by Canadore on a 5-point run. We'll still continuing the lead here, and Cudmore, count the ace, had a couple of them today.
Yeah, Cudmore's killing it right now. Definitely a bit of a difference. Yesterday, she was neutralized by Seneca, and now I think this is the type of volleyball she wants to be playing for sure as Cudmore's serve once again.
Mackenzie plays that one maybe a little bit awkwardly, at least from the body language, but sends it straight back. Rowledge up to IDs. IDs goes into the block, but Byrne is there to be able to play it. Crawford on the far side just tries to put it in the back line. Sherman. It's going to be Dyer. They get a block on it. Baker is there and then immediately sent back, and Baker back-to-back trying to play it, but just unfortunately wasn't in the right position. He was on the floor from the previous save.
Can't complain about that if you're Coach Dykhorn, because that's just 100% effort. That's just perfectly placed ball there by the Canadore Panthers.
Baker, Rowledge. Goes up to IDs. Gets a good spin on it. Sherman's there. It's going to be to Mackenzie, and Cudmore can't play it.
You don't like that if you're Loyalist. Now it feels like it is Canadore's turn to go on a run as Dyer looking to get in the positive when it comes to service. And there you go, gets it over clean.
Rutledge goes back to IDs, and IDs, again, just struggling on the offensive attacks. We'll see a timeout from the Loyalist Lancers as they're up by 2. Coming off the timeout, Cassidy Dyer standing at 6 foot with the serve. Baker gets a first touch but sends it straight back to the other side. And put away by Kate McKenzie.
1 point now separates these two teams in this fourth set. And a 6-0 start for the Lancers. Unfortunately, the Panthers have stuck around after that.
Baker sets IDs, and IDs gets it over this time just fine. Sherman. Sommerfeld, the far side. Swung on by McKenzie. Now it's IDs again. Shoves that in the back, and there we go. After a couple of struggles on the offensive game, IDs comes back with a point.
Yeah, I needed that one there for sure. Get the confidence back a little bit. And now it's Rutledge's turn to serve.
Serves over, a little bit of a wonky initial touch there. Sherman puts it high, but it doesn't hit the rafters. Baker to Rutledge. Goes to Byrne. Byrne right up the block. Somebody's needing to play it. IDs is there to save the day. Cudmore in the back, just over the net. But Sommerfeld is there. Shuckaluk sets it to McKenzie. Cudmore is there. Byrne realizes he's not going to play it, so just taps it over to let Canadore do anything with it. Canadore now needing to get it over. McKenzie taps it. Rutledge is there. Gets the back of her hand to pop it up, but Crawford didn't think that she was going to get there, so I think was just not really ready for it, but does try to swing, but ultimately point Panthers.
And that was a big rally there for the first-year player out of Campbellford. Caitlin Byrne was in there 3 or 4 times at least, but just could not score the point.
Yeah, really impressive showing from Byrne in this fourth set as McKenzie puts a deep serve. Cudmore, Rutledge, back to Byrne. Byrne, nice swing, gets the kill.
There you go, now up 2 once again.
IDs. Far serve.
And it's been a while since they've had a poor serve. The Lancers was hoping to keep that streak going, but unable to.
Similarly, Pelche immediately turned around when she was going to go to the service line, thinking she was going to get substituted out, but I think she's good, unless she was just looking for the coach there, find out where they wanted to place the serve. They're going to go to Verboom here. So has to volley it up. Rutledge to Crawford. Crawford. Lance is calling that it was in, but the referee calling it out.
I didn't think it was in. Not the best vantage point, but it looked a good inch out to me. I could be wrong, but regardless, it's Pelche's serve. We're tied at 15 in this fourth set.
Serves over. Baker on that first touch. Rutledge has to play it, but Rutledge with that momentum diving for it kind of puts it behind Baker and just no chance at all.
That's the first lead of the set for the Panthers.
Pelche. Misses. And the person that started the set with 6 runs at the service line was Caitlin Byrne. See her again here. Heavy serve, but I thought that hit Dyer off of her foot.
It was close.
Kind of was standing right in the way of it, but I guess moved last second or the ricochet. Haven't seen that one before. Sommerfeld puts it over Baker to Routledge. Goes to Cudmore. Cudmore has time, finds the open floor, seeing a little bit of a flick of the wrist to the right, trying to just place that in front of Shuckluck perfectly.
We're tied once again. Now it is Crawford's turn to serve.
Kenzie, Sommerfeld, Sherman. Wow.
That was out.
Yeah, Sherman, I don't even think had really any blockers in front of her. Just isn't able to connect on that swing. Crawford misses.
That's not what you wanted at that moment for sure.
Just having Routledge here talking with the referee. I believe it was something to do with the serving of the Panthers. So I'm not a very good lip reader as we see Chichi Ekpelebe come in for Sidney Crawford, which we've seen a couple times today. Sherman. Pulls over Verboom on a first touch. Routledge sets it up to Ekpelebe. Ekpelebe just goes for a short volley. Shuckluck sets it up to Dyer, gets him crazy height, and finds the opening between Ekpelebe and IDs.
And that's what the second-year player out of Senator O'Connor School wanted, looking to make an impact, and Dyer getting up there for her second kill of the afternoon.
Verboom, Routledge to Cudmore. Off the block, wow, big front wall there from Rogers and Dyer.
And the Canadore Panthers heating up exactly when they need to. First 2-point lead of the fourth set, and we'll take a timeout. Charge toward the Lancers.
Coming off that timeout, Loyalists here needing to put a stop to things and make an impact again. Canadore leads 2-1. Sherman on that serve, ID's with it. Going to be Routledge to Cudmore. Cudmore having to really reach on it. Shuckluck, wow, what a diving effort. Almost like a swimmer there. And then Routledge trying to do a behind the back center dump, and wow, one-handed gets it. Jeez.
Needed that point. You can't go down 3 when it's this heavily contested. And they'll make it a 1-point set. Verboom, the rookie, gets set.
Serves over. Very, very close, but it's going to be out. So miss serve from Verboom.
It was close, but it was the right call, unfortunately. It was about 1.5 inches wide from that back white line.
Rogers for the Panthers, 4 points away. Just almost. IDs goes diving, trying to make something happen, but doesn't actually need to, as the ball is going to bounce off the top of the rim and just fall short on the side of the Panthers.
You caught a break there if you're Loyalist for sure, getting that point back.
So Cudmore, we've seen a couple of aces this afternoon. They're going to miss the serve.
And back down within 2. With a little too much power on that one is Charles Cudmore, and we'll see what's happening here. Looks like number 2, Peyton Smith's serving specialist, coming back in 3 points away are the visiting Canadore Panthers from taking this one in 4 sets.
Service is over. Baker on the first touch. It's going to be up to Routledge. Byrne. It was off the block. Now it's going to be Sommerfeld who sets Mackenzie on the far side, and Ekpelebe tries to put it up, but just too much strength and off the Raptors.
Well-placed ball by the Canadore Panthers.
Smith. Baker's there. Routledge having to put it up for Byrne. Byrne's able to do so. Shuckluck. Now it's going to be set to the far side. Mackenzie gets it. Having to play. Shuckluck's there. Sommerfeld back to Mackenzie. The block is there from Loyalist. Routledge falls but is able to keep it alive. Now Baker over to Cudmore. Swings into the net.
And there's match point. Loyalist not wanting to fall to 1-7, as that would keep them in the basement of the Eastern Conference.
Service over. Cudmore. Routledge pops up to IDs. ID swings on. The block is there. Ekpelebe keeps it alive. Then Cudmore on the back line. Shuckluck. Oh, it's going to touch the rafters. Lances get saved.
Just barely hit the rafters. And substitution coming in. Looks like Crawford in for Ekpelebe.
Match point for the Panthers. Routledge just needs to get this over. Does so. Mackenzie. Sommerfeld back to Mackenzie. Baker touches it. And ultimately, the Panthers take it in 3 sets to Loyalist 1.
They will improve to 500 at 4-4 as the Lancers will drop to 1-7. We will have the Canadore Panthers men's volleyball team taking on the Loyalist Lancers men's volleyball team in about 20 minutes, I believe. So we will see you then, same place, in 20 minutes.
For myself, Stephen Schill, alongside John Ostrowski, thank you for tuning in and have a great afternoon.